Hey y'all, so you know that I've been in the job market, right? I was up for 2 different jobs last week, and on Monday of this week I found out that I didn't get either one. I was talking to my mom, who is a 60s hippie through and through, and she said DEI, and she kept saying DEI, DEI. And she said, if you don't find something in the next 6 months, you're going to have to move out of Texas and go somewhere where they still believe in DEI.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about, or rather, we're going to be reacting to videos of white people finding out that they were the DEI hire in their workplace, right?
Right, imagine when DEI was being ruled out, a lot of these palm-colored people didn't think there would be an inclusion of this DEI group that was being ruled out. Most of them took it as it was simply not their business, and others were even happy to a point of, yes, let everybody get work based on their own merits, not knowing that most black Americans who work in these big corporates, most of them are 2 to 3 times qualified than them who are the DEI hires,
which is another misunderstanding. They were relating it to being beneficial to black community alone. But guys, we are coming back with our commentaries first. Let's watch what we prepared for you, and then we come back and talk about it. You can let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch and then we come back.
And she said DEI. And she kept saying DEI, DEI. And she said, if you don't find something in the next 6 months, you're going to have to move out of Texas and go somewhere where they still believe in DEI. And it didn't dawn on me what she was saying to me. All I could think of in that moment of sheer rejection from 2 different companies, all I could think about was that I was the rejection. I didn't understand what the fuck she was saying. And then my personal trainer and I just worked out, which is why my face is flushed. We do it over Zoom. She lives in Washington. And I said to her, I'm in a male-dominated industry. I'm usually the only woman in the room. And she goes, that's what your mom meant. You're the DEI hire. You were the DEI hire. My mom thinks I didn't get those 2 jobs because men got them. The job before that, the one in Houston, that was from like last month, a dude got that job. I don't know how to feel about this. I always felt like I had skills. I always felt like I had skills, that like I earned my place. Most women in my industry don't make it 20 fucking years like I have. Most women, the most that they make it to is 10 years. And then they bow the fuck out and find something else. And if you don't bow the fuck out after 10 years, the suicide rate of women in my industry jumps through the fucking roof. I thought I had skills. I thought I was outlasting. I thought, you want a dinosaur. We've been through it. We know what's going on. And I don't know why it didn't dawn on me that my whole career, I've just been the DEI hire because they needed to hire a woman. I was the only woman in the room because they needed to hire a woman. I don't know how to feel about this. So my whole career was a lie? Has my whole career been a fucking lie? I really don't know how to feel about this. And I don't know why it didn't dawn on me that my whole career, I've just been the DEI hire because they needed to hire a woman.
Before I get to what I'm about to say, I want the original poster to know that you are qualified. You may actually even be overqualified for the positions that you are applying for. However, no matter what political affiliation you have, red or blue, DEI was sold is Black people taking away from white folks. We are still early on in the Trump presidency, and I have a feeling in the next few years, a lot of other people are going to find out the same way you did, that they were, in fact, the DEI hire. Everyone has this misguided idea that DEI was just about Black people, when actually what DEI is recognizing differences, ensuring fairness, and creating belonging for everybody. It was never just about Black people. It was about immigrants, veterans, women, and making sure qualified applicants are not looked over based on their skin color, their sexual orientation, their religion, but because DEI was sold as something that explicitly benefited Black people. Everyone took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. And now people are going to have to find out the hard way that they were, in fact, also the DEI hire. Let's just hope it isn't too late by the time everyone figures this out. Stay woke.
I'm so surprised how many people didn't know that with the DEI rollbacks, that meant that like there would also be rollbacks for specifically women. I don't know what y'all thought. What, you thought, first of all, you thought these men respected us? What, just because you're like a white woman? And I get, like, I'm a white woman, right? But like most political progress for women has come at the hands of women of color. Not to say that there haven't been prominent white women, but like when they're talking about like diversity in the workforce, they're talking about you. And now they're talking about like getting rid of things like Black History Month and Women's History Month. And all the white women are suddenly like, what? This applies to us? I don't know if you know this, but they view you as someone they can oppress. It's like, I don't know why we're surprised. This also means that like it opens the door for them to allow for things like for you to be fired if you're pregnant, for them to take away more things like maternity leave and stuff like that. Y'all need to stop associating DEI with just Black people or other people of color.
So I was a DEI hire. I was working for this company that I got hired on after I left the full-time military. And they brought me in, and I had tried to apply to them before, but it didn't work. And this time when I applied, they were actually having an active recruiting session to reach out to veterans. The veterans got preferential treatment to get jobs at this company. It doesn't mean we got hired when we weren't qualified. We got hired for jobs we weren't capable of doing. It means we got hired and were given preferential treatment because we fit a demographic that they serve. This company served veterans primarily. So they wanted to include veterans in their staff a lot, to get more of them. So that was a DEI hire, as far as I'm concerned.
Imagine working for years in a male-dominated field to only find out that you are a white woman who was a DEI hire. It's giving shock. It's giving denial. It's giving wait. DEI includes me? Oh, the math is mathing, but it's also giving news. This viral video of a woman who had her career shattered with one conversation with her mother. After getting laid off from a long-time job in a male-dominated industry, this woman kept applying for jobs and kept getting rejected. She called her mom, as most of us would, and her mom simply replied with some backhanded realness, saying, "Sweetie, you were probably a DEI hire." Just imagine, this woman spent years as the only woman in her field, thinking she was exceptional. But suddenly she realized, oh snap, they hired me to hit the diversity quota. I was a DEI hire because hiring a woman got those companies government perks. It's the irony. I'm sure she thought DEI was just for Black folks, brown folks, LGBTQ folks, and everybody else, but not white women. But DEI has always included white women. Surely she thought that the E in equity meant everybody else. So now she's confused, sitting in her confusion like, wait, I wasn't special? And listen, she may have been qualified for her job, I'm sure, but she also benefited from DEI because some of us are tokenized and talented, and some of us are just placed. It's giving full circle. It's giving poetic justice. It's giving a good time to ask yourself, are you where you are because of merit, or did your privilege hold your door open for you? It's giving wake-up call. It's giving reflection, but it's also giving news. Drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts.
Flight 2242, you ready for takeoff? Okay, then go. Fly free. Can we pretend not airplanes in the night sky and let shooting stars? I'm gonna put that song on next. Wait, hold on 1 second. You got it from here, right? Okay, good, good. I'm getting a call. Hi, Jamila. What's up, girl? Oh, I'm so happy with this new job. Like, I can't believe I got this, you know, without my GED and stuff. But, like, society's really doing the good deed for, like, minorities and stuff. But I'm pissed, though. Jamila, she ate all my watermelon. Isn't that crazy? That's some messed up shit. Yeah, I'm finna take my break. Wait, hold on. Can you stay straight? Can you straighten out the plane, like align it with like the sky, if that makes sense? Okay, you got that? Yeah. Yo, these pilots are stupid as shit. I'm gonna finna take my break and then we can go like eat some fried chicken or something. Okay, invite Jarrell. Invite Jarrell. Okay, Babu. You killing it up there in the sky.
DEI did not benefit black people en masse. It benefited a couple of token blacks. And I'm sorry, y'all gonna lose your little token benefits. But DEI did not benefit the masses of African people. Barack Obama is the first president to use the words diversity, equity, and inclusion in his DEI initiative that he signed in August of 2011, mandating that the federal government take steps to diversify, include, and guarantee equity for minorities. But it was all about the rainbow. That law was about immigrants and rainbow gangers. It was not about black people. Yes, you have a few black people who are going to lose some DEI benefits. But we are 42 million. And when we add our African immigrant brothers and sisters in, we're about 45, 48. I'm going to round it up because they always suppress our numbers. I'm going to round it up to 50 million Africans in America. Somebody help me understand how Barack Obama's DEI has benefited black people in these past 16 years. Help me understand.
Next time you hear someone say they agree with Donald Trump rolling back all DEI efforts, ask them what it stands for. Say, what does DEI stand for? I had this exact conversation just a few days ago with someone, and they were going on and on about how much they hate DEI and how, you know, someone in their industry, a woman, has a much higher up position than this particular person did, and it was a DEI hire and all this other stuff. I said, what does DEI stand for? I don't know. You don't know what DEI stands for, but you're bitching about it? DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Inclusion. Oh my God. Horrible. Horrible inclusion. A little inclusion. Fucking horrible. What we teach our fucking kids. Horrible stuff. Horrible stuff. All you God-loving people. God forbid we teach inclusion. But seriously though, say, what does it mean? What does it stand for? Because they don't even fucking know. And you know what it stands for? It stands for white Christian straight men being terrified that people are more qualified than them, and they're actually going to have to work harder to now get the jobs. They're going to have to work harder to prove that they deserve the job. You know what this person who was complaining about this woman being a DEI hire missed the entire point? She's way more qualified. Way more qualified. That's why she got the job. Not because she's a woman, because she's way more qualified than you small fucking white man. That's why. That's why, you dumbasses. Guys, just do a Google, just learn what DEI stands for before we start complaining about it. And then also just try harder, work harder. White men don't deserve everything. White, straight, Christian men don't just deserve everything.
Okay guys, let us know what you think about the videos you just played on the comment section. You know, the best part about this FAFO season in America is that people are really, the find out stage really came sooner than people thought or expected, you know. And like, I do get why white people would feel like this does not affect them, particularly women. They didn't think they were part of the DEI program, of which right now it has been established that a lot of white people and other groups benefit from DEI before black people do. Right, and you know, the thing with these programs, most politicians, especially palm-colored politicians, usually like to politicize programs like DEI and feed their supporters who are also palm-colored this nonsense that programs like DEI only benefit the black community or communities of people of color. And this kind of reminds me of a very similar situation that happened, was it early during elections?
No, not that incident. I don't know if it was early this year when Trump cancelled Obamacare. White people were happy. Most of them were championing for it to actually end faster. And when it finally ended, most of them were going to the hospital and they were being let known that the affordable care that they were using was the same as Obamacare that was cancelled. And most of them started to cry in regret over the internet because it was cancelled, you know. So I feel like these are all the same kind of situations. When palm-colored people feel like it, or think that it won't affect them, they champion for it to be removed. And when they find out that it was also affecting them, they start crying about it.
Right. It also, if that's not enough example, let's just think back to food stamps as well. There was a video that went quite viral on TikTok where a palm-colored man was talking about how, by the way, people used to relate food stamps with lazy black Americans. That is how they used to describe.
Even here in Africa, a lot of the movies we'd see it would only depict black people using food stamps.
Exactly.
My whole life growing up, and this is honest to God truth, I also thought only black people used food stamps because that is what the movies promoted here in Africa. I never once saw or heard palm-colored people speak of food stamps.
It's like they hide, you know, they have their own secret community. They don't really talk about it. So the outside world does not really know that. The white population, because of their white privilege, they really do benefit from food stamps, you know.
Right. And it was just last year when we did that viral video, we ourselves were expressing our shock when we had a palm-colored person say that palm-colored people are also big users of food stamps, and I was like, oh, this was shocking.
Right. And this in this viral video, the guy was talking about how his father used to talk in front of, you know, he was the big R word, he was a racist, and when he would talk to them, he would talk like this, and I'm going to quote, right? These black people are lazy people, they are criminals,
they're drug dealers, they do this, that, and the other. And mind you, this was so ironic to this palm-colored child. Now he's a grown man, right? But as a child, it was so ironic to him how his father would talk about the black community, yet his father was a pusher, you know, like he was selling he was selling the powders and he was selling snow, very white snow, right? And with the same breath, the dad would say how the black community was this, that, and the other.
They benefit from
food stamps. And he would see his father go under a mattress, remove a food stamp, and go exchange it in order for him to get some, you know, and leaves his kids hungry. They've not even taken food or anything like that, you know. And then him himself, when he grew up, he realized he never met a single black person who was who was selling snow and other varieties of snows, you know. And he never also met a black person who used stamps.
In short, guys, what we are saying is that somebody said, and I feel like it's important to remind you, when you do vote politicians into office, you have to keep one thing in mind. These people are billionaires and they don't care. They don't know your daily struggles. Exactly. They don't know your daily struggles. Some of them can't even define what a food stamp is. Some of them
don't even know
exactly. They don't even know what affordable health care is. They don't even know what it's there to do, its work. You know, they can't like put their hands on it, what it's there for, you know. So,
and I feel like it's very, very sad that the 1% used things like DEI to fool the palm-colored community into believing that such programs were only for black people and colored people, and hence black people were taking away opportunities that were meant for
but the good thing about them allowing the politicians to use them is that if indeed they voted because of the hate, because for racism to occur in a place, then there's that level of they think they're better than another group. So because they thought they were better, right now they're really, really suffering. They're being handed the black treatment, you know, because the black community, let's just remind ourselves, have been going through this for a long time to such a place where like it became part of their daily struggles and they got used to living like this, and they found ways to help them cope with such situations. Now now the palm-colored community are about to find out how difficult it is to live like a black person in America, and they're about to start finding out ways to help them maneuver these new systems that are being created, you know.
Right.
Yeah, so guys, I don't know, do you have any final remarks before we close the show?
My final remarks is that I would hope that palm-colored community would learn from, especially this presidential term that's going to be in for 4 years. But you would think they would learn. But I feel like once something is deeply rooted inside of you, without the intervention of God to change, I really don't think most of them will change. Right now, they just look like they have changed, or at least the ones that are usually racist, because not all of them are like that. They appear to have changed because the hard times are hitting them too, like black communities. But have they really changed? Only time will tell, and only God knows about that.
Right. For me, I'll just say that things like affirmative actions also, people really thought that it was there to benefit. People thought that black American community were being handed things for free, you know.
Yes.
And that raged a lot of people, even the Asian community, not knowing that Asians were one of the Asians and white women, exactly, were one of the biggest benefit factors of these systems put in place. Black people are just being used as a cover coat, but the help was not getting to their community as it should have, you know. So what I'm saying is, a lot of people are about to find out. They effed around and now they're finding out. And just like this woman, there's a lot of people, a lot more people who are coming out, talking about how their jobs got affected because of new systems and new policies, whatnot, you know. And this is just the beginning. As we normally say, strap up, because it's gonna be a long 4 years, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's all I can say about the situation, guys. Let us know what you think about this on the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here, and we'll see you on our next episode.